Good evening, teachers, fellow schoolmates, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Nanyin and Music Composition, an in-class presentation showcase of Nanyin, a traditional art form that my friends and I have been working on for the past few weeks. My name is Cheney and I'm a Year 2 Erhu instrumentalist, but for today I'll be playing the Nanyin Dong Xiao. It's great to see all of you here today. Thank you for taking the time to come down to the Lee Foundation Theatre, and for those watching via the live stream as well, thank you for logging on to watch our show. This program is initiated by the Institute of Southeast Asian Arts with Siong Leng Musical Association. Today's presentation showcase features the outcome of a 7-week workshop and sectional practice sessions with Chinese instrumental and composition students from the School of Music. So first up, we have a video documentary of the workshop and practice sessions. This short clip includes interviews with Nanyin practitioners as well as music students. Please enjoy.
Nanyin originates from the Fujian province of China and can be traced back to the Han Dynasty around 2,000 years ago. Only 200 years ago, Nanyin arrived to Singapore with the help of immigrants who traveled to Singapore to look for jobs. Nanyin has certainly evolved across the years, and in Singapore, with the multiple change in the demographics of the practice in the recent years, and more importantly, its artistic practices. Siong Leng today incorporates multi-sensorial experiences and theatrical elements to give easier access to both local and international audiences to enjoy this traditional art form. The role of a Nanyin practitioner today should strive to not only preserve this art form, but to also seek creative ways to promote and develop this art form. While it's important to keep our traditions alive, we do need to revitalize them to ensure that our youth enjoy them, as they're going to be our future. And this is how we actually maintain and sustain Nanyin in the future. So learning Nanyin is more than just the teachings of the music form, but it also incorporates the cultures and the values of the Chinese people. And this is what is most challenging about teaching Nanyin, as these are elements which requires honing and nurturing. It could take years for a learner to grasp the musicality of Nanyin through a master-disciple system, which involves time and perseverance.
It is believed that zhitao is the most ancient score in Nanyin, and the zhitao ranges from 20 to 50 minutes. And nowadays, not a lot of vocalists can really sing 20 to 50 minutes a song. Thus, individual movements is extracted out to form qi, and this is how qi is formed. In Nanyin, we have a very special music notation called gong che pu. Like some other music forms out there, traditional music forms, we actually use the pentatonic scales, with 5 main musical notes: che, gong, liok, si, and it, and the rest of the notes revolve around these 5 musical notes. Something special about Nanyin gong che pu is that all musicians and instruments actually look at the same score. So this score gong che pu is actually written only for the pi pa, which is also called the pi pa pu. So melodic instruments like the dongxia and the erxian actually have to analyze their own from the gong che pu, adding in ornamental notes to fit in the gaps between the skeleton notes.
I think one of the biggest takeaway for me is that I get to learn Nanyin directly from Nanyin professionals. I think that's very useful and a lot better than learning it by myself, let's say on the internet. I actually have already been learning Nanyin for a few months from Siong Leng. Ming Feng is my teacher, and he's a very good teacher. So he has told me that playing in an ensemble is very different from playing alone when I practice alone. And I find that it's very true. So after coming for this Nanyin workshop, I played in an ensemble and we are getting to perform also, which I think is very useful and a good experience.
I find it very interesting because the nanpa is actually a predecessor of the current modern pipa or beipa, as some would call it. And there are many techniques that are used in the nanpa. While they are named differently, they are the exact same techniques that are used in the current playing today. So for example, the nanpa, they would call it dian tiao, while in pipa it's called tan tiao. And there is also a unique characteristic of one of their techniques, which is called luo zi. which is very similar to what the pipa use as tremolo or 轮子 nowadays. However, there's one slight difference is in the fact that for nanpa, it actually goes backwards, while pipa goes the opposite way. And it's quite interesting because the 络子 can actually be traced back around 50 years ago and is still used in the southern pipa pies in China.
I have heard of Nanyin before, but I'm not really familiar with this genre of music. In fact, my dad actually works in Xiamen University, so I get to experience Nanyin when I'm in Xiamen. In a Nanyin ensemble setting, there's no conductor needed. So through this workshop, I actually hope to improve on my ensembleship skills. To add on, erhu is more of a leading instrument in Chinese orchestra. So compared to Nanyin ensemble, the sanxian actually plays a secondary and a supporting role. So through this workshop, I hope to improve that part of skills in my music career.
As year 3 students, we are currently learning about Southeast Asian music. A lot of this style of music has history linked to Nanyin music. I feel that through this workshop, we are able to have a deeper understanding of how music is developed, especially in Singapore.
What is special about Nanyin music? The first thing that comes to mind is gongceipu. Gongceipu is the type of notation we use in Nanyin music. So it's not stave notation, it's also not jianpu or numbered notation that's normally used in Chinese orchestra. Gongceipu is a little bit like numbered notation, but it's still not the same. There are differences here and there. And the scales used are different also. So there are only 4 different keys in Nanyin music as compared to Western or Chinese music that has like a lot of keys. Another thing that's special about Nanyin, I would say, is the instrument. So we have the Nanyin pipa, dongxiao, erxian, and sanxian. So they might look like normal instruments seen in Chinese orchestra, but it's actually not the same. So for Nanyin instruments, string instruments, normally silk strings are used instead of steel strings. So, but the pipa and sanxian, nowadays they use nylon strings because silk strings break too easily. And for the Nanyin pipa, the neck is crooked and you hold it, instead of holding it like that, you hold it sideways. And the sanxian is smaller than the normal sanxian that we see in Chinese orchestras. And erxian is made from bamboo and wood instead of pure wood. So I guess that's some of the main differences for the instruments. And one more thing that I find very special about Nanyin is the style of this genre of music. Nanyin music in general is, to me, it's quite gentle and melodious. As according to what we have learned in school, Nanyin is used to be performed in the court, so that's expected of it to be quite gentle. And as the music progresses from the start to the end, it actually speeds up a lot. So you start very slow, and when you further into the music, it starts to speed up, and then the tempo will stabilize. So there's no fixed tempo in Nanyin.
That was quite an informative video. So what's coming up next will be a presentation and performance by my classmates and I. Now let me invite Ng Si and Hai Rong to bring us through the basics of Nanyin, and they will also be sharing more about the pieces that we will be performing.
Nanyin, also known as music of the South, originates from Fujian, Quanzhou. In 2009, it was recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Nanyin is regarded as a living fossil, and can be traced back to 2000 years ago. It used to be a type of imperial music. However, as time progressed, it is now enjoyed by everyone. Over the years, it has spread to many parts of the world. Here is the main instrument, also known as 上四管. There are 三弦, 琵琶, 洞箫, and 二弦. And here are the secondary instruments, also known as 下四管. They are 拍板, 四宝, 小调, 双铃, and 响展. Nanyin is sung in the Minnan dialect and noted in Gong Che Pu. There are 3 types of score, which are 直, 曲, 谱. And the key signature is 五空管, 四空管, and 贝斯管. And this is the traditional Nanyin score.
First up, we have 直. 直 signifies the start of a traditional Nanyin performance. It includes all the instruments found in Nanyin. For this piece, it is humorous and light-hearted. It vividly describes how one may find joy in sorrow. The time signature used is 叠拍, and for this piece, the key signature used is 五空四切管. Now let's welcome the musicians on stage. They'll be performing Pairs in the Wind, 风打梨. Enjoy. Up next, we have Qu. Qu is usually makes up the bulk of a Nanyin performance. It's often presented with 4 main instruments as well as vocalists. For this piece, the time signature is 叠拍 and the key signature is 四空管. Let's welcome the musicians for 植入花园 Into the Garden. Third, we have Pu. Pu signifies the end of a Nanyin performance. And for this particular piece, it's actually one of the most common beginner pieces to learn. The time signature used in this piece is 景山寮 and 景蝶. And the key signature used is 五空管. Let us all welcome the performers on stage, and they'll be performing 起手板, the 5th and 6th movements. Enjoy. Up next, we have Siong Leng Musical Association. Established in 1941 as a non-profit organization, Siong Leng has a mission to preserve, promote, and develop Nanyin. They are also a major grant recipient of the National Arts Council. They will be performing another pu, zhou ma, trotting horses. Also known as 8 stallions, it is one of the 4 iconic instrumental suites of Nanyin. It describes the shape and majestic postures of galloping horses through tone and rhythm. The time signature is die pai and jing pai. Jing die. The key signature is wu kong guan. So let's welcome the musicians on stage as they perform zhou ma, trotting horses, the 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 8th movements.
What a captivating performance by Siong Leng! Now that we have heard some traditional Nanning pieces, it's time to move on to something that's a little different, which would be new compositions but inspired by Zoma, written by our very own composition students. Before we continue, let's watch an introductory video of these student compositions.
Prelude is written by Sherman, Joey, and Han Quan. The first section of the prelude develops on the free beginning by stretching and adding increasingly elaborated ornaments. The second section contains compositional fragments like the slow fast rhythmic idea and the long melodic line. The final section describes the short story of the horse in 4 short parts. Repeated notes getting faster and faster signify the horse warming up. The horse gallops and the horse rider sings a joyful tune. It returns to the stables and enjoys a bath. The horse rises after a good night's sleep, getting ready for another day.
Zoma Reimagined is written by Muhammad Kari, Chao Cai, and Jia Ang. Just like the original Nanyin piece Zoma, our work seeks to portray the same concept of a galloping horse, but in a style distinct from the original Nanyin piece. The piece is structured in an order of slow, fast, and slow. The opening slow section paints the picture of a horse at rest. The horse then gradually trots itself forward as music represented by the acceleration in the music. The acceleration brings the music to the fast section. The rhythm of the fast section is meant to mimic the horse galloping in the opening field without any restraint. The galloping rhythm of the music eventually comes to a stop, just like a horse coming to a rest after a long run.
Wind Rustles Grass is a piece written by Alyssa, Jonah, and Vivian. For this piece, elements were taken from the tones and inflections featured in the traditional score of trotting horses. This piece is split into 3 segments. The first section illustrates the wind that largely remains still in the air. Repetition and large leaps are used to signify changes in direction of the wind and the wind blowing slightly stronger respectively. The second section depicts the resting of grass and gives an idea of how calm it is. Notes are alternated slowly, which depicts the subtle movement of the grass. The final section complements the scene with imagery of horses galloping freely over the hills. The contour of the melody is a reflection of the hills that the horses run on, the quickening speed and the feeling of running without worries or obstacles.
Gust is a piece consisting of 3 sections written by Kok Jin, Rebecca Tan, and Putri. The first section is inspired by the long tones in the opening of Zoma and reflects the sense of serenity and awe one experiences in nature. The second section extrapolates on the melodic contours and sonic gestures found in the 6th movement of Zoma, and the final section focuses on the galloping effect found in the same movement of Zoma.
And Xiaoyong, a Year 3 student majoring in flute. The first and third piece will be played by Sherman, while the second and fourth piece will be played by Xiaoyong. So I'm sure all of you are very excited to hear these new student compositions. So let us now welcome our performers on stage. That was a great performance by our student musicians. With that, we have now come to the end of our presentation. I hope this has been an informative and enjoyable session for all of you. I thank you again for coming to watch our performance, and I wish you a pleasant evening ahead. Thank you.